Greetings, 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 everyone. Welcome to the Social Power Summit Speaker Interview Series. Today is day 16. We have just a few more to go. And today we're going to be speaking with the lovely Joyce Gilmer. And we're just waiting on her to pop on in here. Yes, yes. And we'll start sharing this. Ah, there she is. And she is coming on in the room.
You're gonna hope that okay, can you see and hear me okay?
That's what we're hoping for. I see and hear you okay. Yes, ma'am, I do.
Okay, excellent.
Yes. So thank you so much for coming on here today and being with us. I see you. You good?
Yes. I just had to turn my volume up a little bit because I couldn't hear you, but I hear you now.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, we got to make sure you hear the questions, right? We got to make sure.
That's right. That's right. Let me adjust my light too.
Okay.
Because I can see. I feel like I'm in the dark here. A little bit.
I see everybody's coming on in here. Come on in the room. Come on in the room, everybody. Thank you so much for coming on in. We're going to start sharing this out. And we're going to get this going. So thank you so much, Miss Joyce. Please tell everybody about Joyce Gilmer.
Wow. Just like that, right out the gate, huh?
Just out the gate, yeah.
So I am, let me see, where do I start? I feel like there's so much to say about me. So I'm an author, speaker, I'm a certified professional coach, and also a certified Christian life coach. I am the CEO of Empowered Living Coaching and Consulting. I'm the creator of the Dream Builder Mentorship Circle and the Dream Launcher Academy. And I help women of faith to identify, activate, and implement their dreams so they can leverage social media and get paid for their gifts.
Beautiful. I love that. And, women of faith, that is one thing we have not touched on in the Power Summit. And, oh, yes, I see my coach, Pastor Joyce. Yes, honey. We got to throw it down. Pastor Joyce. I like that. Yes, honey.
I have all kinds of titles.
Yes, coach, pastor. You're doing it all. You are doing it all. And that is one good thing, one reason why I chose you, besides, you're fabulous. But reason is that you are a minister that doesn't have a problem getting your paper.
I do not. Although I used to. Mm-hmm. Which is now why I make sure that as many of us that are in women of faith and ministry and business understand that it's actually a biblical mandate and a promise that we have the power to get wealth, but we need to know how to do that. Mm-hmm. And so I help them to monetize gifts they already have, speaking, training, coaching, writing books, and help them to get paid for that. And social media has been a very powerful tool for me personally to not only attract my audience, but then also teach them how to use social media to even leverage their own businesses and ministry. So it's been phenomenal.
Now, see, that is a great point because, a lot of times, I just want to serve the people, but we have to realize that, yes, because I'm a servant leader as well. I'm going to feel right if I'm not serving. But at the same time, how can you serve on an empty cup?
Exactly. Exactly. You end up burning out usually, that's what usually happens. Mm-hmm. Sometimes even feeling used because people take advantage of whatever. As long as you're offering things for free, they're going to take it for free. And sometimes take more than they should probably take. And that's what leads us to burnout and then frustration. Or just really not really knowing how to maximize the gifts that we've been given. Or we think that our opportunities are constrained mm-hmm. to the four walls of the church. Mm-hmm. And so we don't go beyond. But even scripture speaks to that. It tells us to go into all the world, right? Yes. And so social media is the one major tool that allows us to go into all the world in seconds and in minutes. So for me, it was a way to really cast my net further to see who's beyond the familiar four walls of the church I attend, of the small group I might go to, of the small network, and be able to build a network of women that were interested in starting ministries or businesses, or already had them, but were not maximizing, again, their gifts to really monetize and make profit from their passion and profit from their purpose.
See, I love that. And so I wanted to touch on that extremely because I wanted people to know that it's not, it's not a bad thing if you ask for what is due you. It's not a bad thing. And, a lot of times people are like, oh, I just want to help somebody out, or I want to do this, I want to do that. And we have to realize that we have to make sure that this is, you're not being used, because that's going to lead to the overwhelm. I know that feeling of overwhelm. I know most people that are servant leaders do know that as well. And so tell us how social media took that feeling away from you.
So I think for me, what I found and what I discovered is that I knew that I had always known that there was something greater on the inside, right? I had this greater ability to do more than I was doing, to serve at a higher level than I was serving, to really tap into the wealth that I believe I was called to tap into. So for me, social media taught me a couple of things. One, it showed me I was fishing in the wrong pond, because I was not attracting those that I knew I could help. I was having to convince and beg and be like, oh, come on over here, please. I can really, really help you. If you only let me, I was just like, I knew I had what they needed, but I was trying to convince them that I had what they needed. But again, I was in a constrained small group. But when I got on social media and I just began to just show up, just show up and begin to teach. It was on Periscope at first, and just sharing nuggets and just showing up. And I found that I began to attract all these people. And it's interesting for me, Dr. Finch, because I felt that there was not a place for me because I was a woman of faith specifically, and I was targeting women in ministry. And so I shared with my group the other day, my mentorship circle, that it's often unique that you think the thing that alienates you is what actually caused you to have an opportunity. And so for me, at first, I was like, well, nobody's going to want to hear me. I don't want, this preacher girl talking about marketplace, they're going to think I forsook the church and all that other stuff. And there was some of that. There was some of that resistance. There was some of that labeling. But listen, when you have a purpose and a passion and you're supposed to do something, you have to just keep on doing it. And by me being persistent and showing up, I began to attract the right people and draw the right fish, those that were hungry for what I had to offer. And so social media, it increased my audience. It increased relationships. It, of course, increased my bottom line and profitability. I began to make more money in my business, more than I had ever had made before, as a result of social media. I was very limited to how much I was making because, again, I was in this small little pond trying to convince people for $20 to please take my 6-week coaching program. But when I began to really leverage through social media, I was able to expand my audience and then also, again, attract more profit as a result.
Now, see, that's what I love about this, because, a lot of times we feel, oh, nobody's really interested in what I'm talking about. But the moment that we say that and we put it out there, our eyes are instantly open, because we gravitate to people that feel the same way. And a lot of times they are excited because you stepped out on there and it showed them that they can step out too. And
Absolutely.
From social media, you started a whole lot of groups because of the social media. And now you're doing a tour. So tell us about this tour that you're doing and how you're promoting that on social media.
I am. So what I started to do was I leveraged Facebook, and I created the Kingdom Sisters Network. And so as a result of that network, which is now about 950 women, I was very intentional with that group, and I took my time in inviting and accepting people into that group. We built actual relationships there. And so what began to happen is we ended up making a global reach and a global impact, because I began to attract women across various states. We began to build authentic relationships. And I mean women in Texas, Florida, Philadelphia, California, just all over the place, New York and different places. And as a result of that, the Kingdom Sisters Network Tour was birthed because people wanted a tangible presence. They wanted me in the space with them in their city and in their state. And so because they expressed interest, then we birthed the KSN tour. So last year was our first year doing it, and we did a 5-city tour last year as a result of the relationships we had built in California, Texas, Philly, and some of the other states that I mentioned. And then I just couldn't get them all in the first year. So this year we had some additional states. And what happens in the space, it is actually a ministry and marketplace space. So inside of the KSN tour, it is an intentional, intimate group setting of 25 to 30 women where we come together and we help women to get beyond past failures, to see the potential and possibility of actually dreaming again and tapping into their gifts and monetizing those gifts. And so there's options. I mean, there's opportunity for prayer, for encouragement, for empowerment, for teaching from the co-hosts, because I have co-hosts in each of these states as well that come with their expertise and they teach from their experience and their expertise. And we just really just permeate the space and empower the women. We pray for them, we teach, we show them how to move in their gifts in terms of making profit from their past. And so we're going from city to city now. And so we are we went to Houston, Texas already. Coming next is Buffalo, New York on September 22nd. And then we'll end up in Oklahoma City, October the 13th. And so it's just been an extremely powerful time. It's been really invigorating. It's been very exciting. And even an expansion of relationships that have been built as a result of us doing this tour.
Wow. Wow. And so, I mean, you just being able to meet the people that you met offline, huh? And you get to do a lot of JV partners, and you also get to teach the women in your network about how to do this for themselves, correct?
Absolutely. Many of them, especially as a result of the mentorship circle that I started, because that's the space where I'm able to do a lot more intense, hands-on, actual training, webinar trainings, how to get booked and paid to speak, how to do certain things so they'll know how to show up. How to create their first workshop or do their first webinar. And so that space is where I teach them how to do that once they make the investment in the circle. And so now they're doing their own events and they're learning how to monetize, even from a free space or a free workshop, how to leverage that and actually get paid by making upselling offers from the stage. So it's really, again, it's just really been amazing. And although I was completely afraid and petrified, if I'm going to be transparent, to launch out in this space initially, I am so thankful that I did for all the people that I've been able to help thus far as a result of me taking the risk. I have this saying that I say that every time I take a leap, God gives me a safe place to land. And so I think that we have to just take risk and not be afraid. Our blessing, our profitability is on the other side of our fear. We just have to be willing to take the leap towards that.
See, this awesome right there. A lot of the things that we do on social media are because we took the leap. And a lot of people are just like, oh, there's this, there's that. But remember, they were where you were, 2 or 3 years ago. They just took the leap earlier than you did. And that's so, right. Yes, they just took the leap earlier than you did. So let's say for people that are looking to do live events, what are 3 things you would tell them to do on social media to promote that live event?
So I want to stress the importance of showing up before you show up. That's my number one tool and the number one key, because so many times we think we can just get on social media and promote an event or create an event that people are going to show up because you create an event. The reality is you need to have influence. You need to have a story to tell. You need to have content to share. You got to have something to say. And then what you do is you take all those elements and you craft that content and you use social media as the tool to begin to tell your story, begin to create value by saying what it is you have to offer, whether that is doing a 3-day series, a 2-day series, a weekly broadcast, but being consistent by showing up with your social media content relevant to what it is you do as an expert in your industry, as a speaker, as an author, whatever your area of expertise is, and showing up on social media to do that, and then leveraging your presence on social media to then promote your actual live event. And I also want to stress that do not allow this idea that you have to have, 200 people showing up at your event for it to be considered a success. The fact that you're taking the leap and showing up in faith and obedience, to me, that is success, because you could have stayed in fear and not done anything. And if you're impacting, if you're just making a ripple effect in 2 or 3 or 50 people, that is success. And you take the lessons from that event and you grow it to the next time or the next opportunity or the next space or the next workshop or the next seminar. But you have to start, I was going to say start somewhere, but I want you to use what you've got today. And that's what I did with the SN tour. I said, I'm going to be intentional on investment, because I was testing the market, right? I had not necessarily been to Arlington, Texas before, but I had a co-host that lived in Arlington, Texas, but I didn't know anybody in Texas. So I was like, I'm going to be smart with this. I'm going to just beta test the waters. I'm going to make it a low tier investment. I'm going to shoot for 25 women. And the space was packed out. We were sitting on the floor. We were in high boys. We were in lounge chairs. I mean, we've just been in all types of environments and arenas, all because, I took the leap of faith, and we ended up last year in October with over 50 women in Atlanta. So I think that the key is to be consistent and to show what you have first, no matter how small you think it is, and then be consistent with that, and then allow the process to you. But you got to just keep showing up. That's just key for me, showing up. And for us introverts, Dr. Finch, that's not always easy to do.
Yeah. Most definitely. It takes a lot of energy, and it takes a lot of, talking to ourselves. You got to get out there, girl. You got to do this thing, But at the end of the day, when you are putting it out there and you're showing other people that they can do it too, that's just the icing on the cake for me. And so
absolutely,
I wanted to ask you about maybe 2 things that you would tell women of faith to put out there and start making a presence. What are the 2 things they need to start doing on social media to really get out there and start doing that?
So I'm going to say that it really depends. First of all, everyone has a. So think about, what is your story? What is it that's a part of your story that's going to help empower someone, encourage someone, uplift someone, inform someone, educate someone? Do an assessment and evaluate, what do I have inside of me that's a skill, talent, that's a gift that I can use, and a story that I have to share with the world. Do your assessment first. Do not just watch what someone else is doing and then you jump and start doing it. Assess what's in your own treasure chest, number 1. The second thing is, after you assess that, determine how you can now begin to create content based on your expertise, based on your story, based on what you know. And then after you create your content, you got to find a space to share it. So that could be a podcast interview. That could be like something I'm doing right now. That could be if you're an author, doing a guest, being a guest, co-contributor on something like Huffington Post or a magazine or an article. You just have to start showing up. That's what you've got on the inside of you, what's in your treasure chest. And then you want to determine what content you want to share, what aspect of your story, and then find out your space and identify the space you want to share it in. And don't feel pressured to be on all 25 social media platforms. Like, find the 1 or 2, master those, and do that, and not feel pressure over wanting to do everything else. And just start. Because what happens is, once you show up in the space, then other people begin to be attracted to your story, and then they invite you to be on their platform. And I'm telling you, for me as an introvert, I really had to get very intentional, because I really am shy. People don't believe that, but I am a shy person. And I'm an introvert, right? So what began to happen with me is, I started showing up with my story, with my desire to help women of faith in ministry and business. And then before I knew it, I was getting invitations to be on podcasts, to be on webinars, to be this and to be that. But I had to begin to turn stuff down because I was getting so many invitations. And that's a true story. And so you want to be strategic with how you show up, because otherwise you'll be spread thin and all over the place and, talking to the fisherman's wharf, and has nothing to do with your gifting. So you want to stay in your lane, stay in your expertise, and just stay focused with what you want to share. that's why you have to do the assessment, so you know what you need to be sharing, if that makes sense.
It definitely does. It definitely does. So I'm going to ask you the question that I ask everybody that comes on here.
Okay.
So why are you a part of the Social Power Summit? Why did you decide to be a part?
So I'm a part of the Social Power Summit because I think, number one, I love what it stands for. I know the unique thing about this particular social media event is that not only is it marketplace, but there are also a lot of people that look like me. Women of color.
Yes.
That was important for me. I'm all about empowering women, number one. That's a huge part of my mission in ministry and in marketplace. I'm all about also supporting women of color in particularly. And so to have this unique space for us to show up with our expertise, to me, was phenomenal. And I would not want to miss it for the world. I'm super excited also that you thought to invite me, that you wanted to hear what I had to say. So again, your invitation for me was, I believe, a sign, again, that showed me an opportunity where I thought there was an obstacle. And that, for me, holds such significance. Because, again, I was not sure that there was a space for someone like me in a marketplace event. But for you to say, that's why I want you, and I'm creating this space for you, to me, further validates and bring credibility to what it is I'm supposed to be doing. Because reality is, we're women of faith. We're not just in church, behind church walls. You know, exactly. We're in corporate America. Exactly. We're principals. We're CEOs. You know, we're mechanics. We're all over the place. And so, exactly. But somewhere, someone is still, no matter where they are unsure about their gifting. They're unsure about their purpose. They're unsure about the fact whether or not they can actually monetize or make profit from their passion. And so that's what I do as a dream activator. I help women activate and wake up to the dreams on the inside of them. And so that's why I'm on the Social Power Summit. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. I cannot wait.
You know, I'm glad you addressed that, because we are moving and shaking in the social media space, where people are 6, 7, 8-figure earners in the social media space, and yet we're not represented on social media platforms. I don't understand that. Yeah. And so it was time, when people don't invite you to the table to eat, there comes a time when you got to go cook your own dinner. And so
absolutely,
that's what we did. Absolutely. That's exactly what we did. It's time for us to basically make our own table, you know, and I'm bringing serious heavy hitters that look like people of color, and we're going to rock the table. We're not just making it, we're rocking it. And then we're going to spread this out everywhere. Why? Because people need to know that we do this. Because a lot of my family for say, oh, you just posting on Facebook? No, it's so much more than that. It's so much more than that. And you know,
so much more.
But
we are changing people's lives. Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, absolutely.
There it is. And so I am super, super excited to have you on the panel, because, you know, you're doing great things, not only in 2 fields, social media, where we're not really desired nor required, and then in ministry, where, you know, we're still, you know, bringing stuff to the table. So you're killing it in both games. You are killing it. And so I had to have Joyce Gilmer on the scene. It was a must. So thank you so much for accepting the call. And please tell them how they can find you. Of course. Please tell them how they can find you, and then any closing words you have.
Okay, so certainly. So you can find me, connect with me at joycegilmer.com. It is GILMER, joycegilmer.com, about what I do in ministry and in marketplace to empower women to activate their dreams, to help them move from where they are to where God has ordained them to be. which is a woman of wealth and a woman of faith. I want you to be powerful and profitable. That's my goal. So reach out on joycegilmer.com. And then also you can go to facebook.com/Joyce Gilmer Speaks.
Wonderful. And I see several people popped in here. And, you know, there's been a great testament to your ministry. Many of your sisters have popped in here to support you. So kudos
yes, I
on
see
that,
them.
of course. Yes, and they are very active. So, yes, you know, I love that engagement. So,
yes, ma'am.
So you will see Pastor Joyce, because I got to do it right. I got to Pastor Joyce. You will see Pastor Joyce
Coach
on
Joyce
the
is
promotions
fine.
panel. Yeah, and you will see it on the promotions panel on the Social Power Summit. So thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate you greatly. And we will continue this. Yes, she is covered. She is. And so I want to continue this on. Please, please, please show Miss Joyce some support and some love. And we hope to see each and every one of y'all at the Social Power Summit in Nashville, Tennessee on September 14th and 15th. Come on, get registered. Come on and show up. And so we can all show out together. So until next time,
absolutely.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you for having me.